Rails is a web development framework written in Ruby language. It is designed to make programming web applications easier by making several assumptions about what every programmer needs to get started. It always you to write less code while accomplishing more than many other languages and frameworks. Long-time Rails developers also report that it makes web applications development more fun. Rails is opinionated software that is assume that there is a best way to do things, and it's designed to encourage that best way, and in some case to discourage alternatives. If you learn the Rails way, you will probably discover a tremendous increase in productivity. If you persist in bringing all habits from other languages to your Rails development and try to use patterns you learn elsewhere, you may have a less happy experience. The Rails is used by many companies externally as well as internally. The companies such as HP, Intel, NASA use Rails internally, and externally Rails is used by MTV Styles and Yellow Pages. There are many advantages of using Rails because Rails, convention over configurations, don't repeat yourself, and object relational mapping, and module review controller, reuse of code, and agile practices, and also security. The Rails user convention over configuration approach which seeks to decrease the number of decisions that developers need to make, gaining simplicity but not necessarily losing flexibility. The Rails provide tools to eliminate duplication in your code. In particular, you can use partials to clean up duplication in views and filters to help with duplication in controllers. The MVC architecture. Rails is organized around the module, view, controller, and architecture, usually just called MVC. And MVC benefits include isolation of business logic from the user interface, easier to keeping code DRY, making it clear where the different types of code belongs for easier maintenance. Module. A module represents information of the application and rules to manipulate that data. In this case of Rails, modules are primarily used for managing the rules of interaction with the corresponding database table. In most cases, one table in your database will correspond to one module in your application. The bulk of your application's business's logic will be concerned with the modules. Views. Views represent the user interface of your application. In Rails, views are often HTML files with embedded Ruby code that perform tasks related solely to the representation of the data. Views handle the job of providing data to the web browser or other tools that they use to make requests from your application. Controllers. Controllers provide the glue between modules and views. In Rails, controllers are responsible for processing the incoming request from the web browser and interrogating the modules for data and passing that data on the views for presentation. The Ruby has been established the mechanism for code sharing and reusing. Agile is very applicable to Ruby. Ruby's elegance along with Rails emphasis on Agile practices in providing many adopters with several times higher productivity than traditional Java and .NET web development platforms, creating enterprise-worth systems in many domains. Web application frameworks are made to help developers build web applications. Some of them also help you with securing the web application. In fact, one framework is not more secure than other. If you use it correctly, you will be able to build a secure application with many frameworks. Ruby on Rails has come clear helpers methods. In general, there is no much thing as plug and play security. Security depends on the people using the framework and sometimes on the development method, and it's depend on all layers of the web application environment. The backend storage, the web server, and the web application itself. In order to prevent attack, minimize their impact, and remove points of attack, first of all you have to fully understand the attack method in order to find the correct countermeasures that it it what this with guide aim at. There are many disadvantages in Rails. Immature IDEs, very different from .NET and new skills required, no MSDN like phone supports, and no server controls for rapid GUI development. Rail is inefficient. Rail use a lot of memory, up to 150 MB per instance. Rail requires more application servers. Speed is low, especially on Windows. It does not compile like .NET. Rails is hard to deploy as it's got lot of moving parts such as Rails and applications, plugins, and application servers and web servers. Ruby on Rails can be used for a lot of purposes.